Hello, readers, and thank you for joining me for another lesson. This week we are starting a new unit on comparative inflected endings. Now, let's talk about what that is. Comparative inflected endings, that means when you're comparing using an adjective and you're going to compare two things or more than two things, you have to change how the word ends. So if you're comparing just two things, you might add an ER. If you're comparing three or more, you might add EST. But then there's these funny rules. When you add a Y or if it's a one-syllable word, we're going to get into those in a minute. But since this really isn't phonics, it's more like language, we're going to do a little phonics review first. So let's do the phonics review and then we'll get into that part of the lesson and we'll practice that together. This week, I want to look at CVC words. Now, for some of you, you're thinking CVC words, I know how to read these already. I'm sure you do. And for those of you that are really good at it, that's amazing. I know you're awesome. You're awesome readers. But a lot of us, we're becoming awesome and we aren't quite there yet. And so I wanted to spend just one lesson kind of reviewing these just as kind of a second touch to make sure that we're all really good at it. So first, let's go over what are vowels. We have A, E, I, O, U. And do you remember what the sounds are? Let's make the sounds this time. A, E, I, A. And those are the sounds. So let's practice writing those because we have to practice writing every time we get together. So let's write each of those vowels 3 times each. And let's make the short vowel sound because CVC words always make the short vowel sound. So get our pen and note and board or your pen and pencil and your paper or whatever you're going to use. It's fine. And let's practice those. So let's start with A and let's do our short A sound. We'll do it 3 times. A, A, A. Then let's do the short E. E, E, E. Then let's do our short I. I, I, I. Do our short O. Ah, ah, ah. Last, let's do our short U. Uh, uh, uh. Thank you for doing that with me. I appreciate it as usual. Now let's practice blending a few words with those short vowel sounds, those CVC words. I'm sure these are going to be great, easy for you, but I still want to practice. So let's get started. All right, you ready? Sound. B. Sound. Ah. Hold that together. Bat. Bat. B-at. Bat. Let's do another one. Sound. Sound. Eh. Hold that together. Red. 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 Sound. Z. Sound. I. Hold that together. Zip. 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 Sound. J. Sound. Ah. Put that together. Jog. 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 And our last one, sound. K. Sound. Put that together. Cub. cub. B, cub. Now, let's review some sounds we've already learned this year. Do these with me. Cool. Sn. Sh. R. Sw. W. Ing. Or. O. O. A. I, and sometimes E. O. All right, very good. Now let's get back to our comparative endings. So let's read over what these are. So when you're using an adjective, you add ER when you compare two things. If I'm comparing me and you, just ER, it's just two of us. But if I'm comparing your whole class, that's three or more, I'm going to add EST. So, but if the word ends in Y, like busy, I'm going to change that Y to an I when I add the ER or the EST. If it ends in an E, like brave, I'm going to drop that E and then I'll put the ER back or the EST. Another rule, there's a lot of rules to remember. We'll go over them every day. If it's a one-syllable word that ends with a vowel and a consonant, you double the consonant before adding the different ending, the ER or the EST. We're going to practice these together. I know it's a lot to remember. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to get started with mean first. Nobody wants to be mean, so we're going to get it out of the way. So if you're just one person, they're mean. Don't be like them. But if it's two people, we add ER, so it's meaner. If it's three people, if it's a lot of people, then you do not want to be the, add EST, meanest. That's right. So, let's practice these again. Next, rich. If it's just one person, they can be rich. If it's two people, I bet you want to be the rich-er, because we're comparing two. And if we add, or if we're comparing three or more, we add EST. And who doesn't want to be the richest? I know I would like to be the richest. That'd be kind of fun. I could buy some more books. Next, let's do hot. Now, hot is that one-syllable word that ends with a vowel and a consonant. And if you remember the rule, we're going to double the consonant. So hot, when I'm comparing two people, I add ER, but it's hotter. I double that T. So it's not just one T anymore, it's hotter. And if it's three or more, when I add EST, it's going to become hottest. And I double the T again, because again, that's a one-syllable word with a vowel and a consonant at the end. Next, we're going to do busy. And if you remember, busy ends with a Y. And when it ends in a Y, if you remember, we change the Y to an I, and then we add the ER or EST. So busy becomes busy-er with a B-U-S-I-E-R, because we're changing the Y to I. And busy, if you're adding three or more people, you would become the busiest, B-U-S-I-E-S-T. So we're changing that Y to an I. And our last one for the day is brave. You want to be brave and take chances of doing some good things. If it's two people, now remember, if it ends in E, we drop the E, and then we add ER. I know it seems kind of silly to put it back, but that's the rule. So we're going to drop the E and add ER. Brave becomes braver. And brave, when that's three or more people, brave becomes bravest. How'd you do today? Did you get those answers right? Did you guess the spelling? We'll work on some of that more later on this week too. But good job today. Thank you for working hard. You're becoming better readers all the time. So until next time, happy reading.